this is the setup for our next project, which is the Goddess bracelet, which is a Zig Zag Macrame bracelet. I've using the 0.5 slinky thread, and I've got 3 strands, each of 2 meters long, and I've put all 3 strands through my button, and I've got 1 firmly down the center and 2 on either side. So that's how my 6 cords have been laid out. And then what I've also prepared is I've polished the ends with clear varnish, and I've trimmed them because I'm going to be sliding on some little crystals. You can use seed beads, you can use any small bead as long as the hole is large enough to go onto your thread. So I'll begin, as I always do, making some basic square knots. And so my D on the left, the right cord over the top, under the intersection and up through. So I'm just going to do a few of these to which will probably go across the back of my wrist. So I'll just continue on, and then we'll resume once I'm ready to begin with the other knots. Now I've done my square knots, and this will probably go halfway across the back of my wrist. And what I've done with all of my cords, the first cord I've put over here to the left and just put into the side of the macrame board, and all of the others I have spaced equally down the bottom here so I can work with them. Now I'm going to need some pins, and the first pin I'm going to use, I'm going to put it right here in this spot, which is where this cord ends and this begins, and I'm going to just pop it in there like that, and then I can take this cord and I can bring it around the pin, and I'm going to go just slightly up here and pop that in up there. Alright, that's good. And then I'm going to start my first half hitch knot. So I'm going to take this cord on the left, and I'm going to go up and over this cord and down. So we're going to do a half hitch knot and down underneath. See, so you can see I'm over here and under here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this one down and this one up. I'm going to be pushing this slightly upwards like that, and then I'm going to do the same thing again. So it's over and under, and then to pull it in place, one up, one down. Now the reason I'm going up and down is because I want to make a row, a straight row across here. So now this one here is going to be put back down to the bottom of the board, and I'm going to take this second cord. Now if you want to, you can always bring this up higher for now and pop that in there. Okay, so now I'm taking the second one and I'm going to repeat the process. So over and under, make my loop, pull one up, one down, and then a second time. You always do it twice because that gives you, that cements the knot. Otherwise it comes loose. One up, one down, put this one down the bottom, and now pick up my third cord and repeat the same action. You can see the knots are starting to come in and they're going reasonably straight across. So one up, one down, and do it again. One up, one down, put this one down, then onto my next cord. Same thing. One up, one down, and again. One up, one down. Then finally, last one. One up, one down. See, I've got a nice, reasonably straight line across there. One up, one down. This is a great, easy project to start doing macrame. Okay, so now I'm going to push this one down to the bottom of the board. I'm going to bring in another pin and I'm going to put it right here at this intersection, and I'm going to take this cord now and bring it around and across and again slightly up, and then I'll start again, but this time with the far right cord, and this time over this side and under. And again, one up, one down. If you want to, you can take this pin out now. And the second one. One up, one down. This will give me a second straight row under the first one. You can see it coming. Put this one down. Go on to the next one. One up, one down. I like this bracelet. It's, although it looks quite difficult, it's actually quite easy once you get into the swing of it. One up, one down. Over, under. One up, one down. Over, under. One up, one down. Next one. Over, under. One down. Now we're going to do 2 straight rows, and then we'll start our third row. We'll start our zigzag. So here's the last one. One up, one down, one and 2. There. So now I'll just get my pin, and again in the intersection here, just pop it there. And then we're going to take this one across. This time we're going to take it across reasonably straight. Okay. And we'll start again. Now what will happen is I want my row to come down this way now to make my first zigzag. So one up, one down. But this time I'm just going to go straight. I'm not pulling it upways, I'm just going straight. One up, one down. Then on to the next one. One and 2. And then the next, put back down there. See, it's starting to come down already, just slightly. 1 and 2, and the next one, 1 and 2. And of course you'll get a bigger V if you pull this even down lower, but we don't want too big a one. Now what I'm going to do now on this next thread is I'm just going to thread on one of my crystals, pop it on, there it is, and bring it up, and I'm just going to pop it in there first, and then I'm going to make my last 2 knots with my last thread. So 1 and 2, and see, by taking it straight across I've made room for that bead there at the end. And 2, there we go, look at that, we've got a bead on. So now again, pin at the end just like before, bring this one across and take it straight across, and we'll continue again. Now this time I'll do the first one. Oops. See, it's quite an easy bracelet. There you go. It's quite easy and it's quite repetitious, so it's not difficult at all. 1 and 2. See, that second one cements it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bead, not here, but I'll put a bead on the middle one. So I'll make the next lot of knots. Now if you want to, you can, once you start going, you can put beads on all of these threads or none, but I rather like it just on every second one. But you can, the more beads you put it on, the firmer the bracelet will be. The bracelet that we're making is quite, sorry I'm caught, the bracelet that we're making is very, very soft to wear, very comfortable. So don't worry if you get yourself lost, just pull down the bead. There's the thread now. There we go. Behave yourself. So now I want to put a bead there, so I'm going to thread on another bead. Okay. Pop it underneath there. And then I'll use this same cord to make my 2 knots. One and 2. See, by going in a straight line, I'm getting the zigzag. By pulling it up, it keeps it straight. But by going sort of more straight across, I'm getting the V shape. So on to the next one. And I'm not going to put a bead on this one, so I'll just do this as a double knot. 1 and 2. But I am going to put 2 beads on this, so I'll just bring in 2 beads, 1 and 2. You can use your size 6 seed beads for this as well. Okay. And then again on with my next knot. So number 1, and number 2, and that popped undone. So I'll just come in there and give it a tighten. And then pull this one up. Oh, it's misbehaving. And 2. There we go. So there's our first zag. Now I'm going to go back this way, and exactly the same as this, I'm going to put 1 bead here and 2 beads on the end, and I'm going to continue back and forth until I get the length I want. So again, pop your pin there in the intersection, come around, straight across. So you can see I've got quite a nice shape happening, and then straight back in. One and 2. I've completed all of my zigzags and added all my beads, and it's time to go in a straight line again. So I'm going to, as you can see, I've put my pin there, and then I'm going to bring this across and up, and then again I'll just make a row of the knots, and this time pulling the thread in an upward direction so I get a straight line and not a vertical line. I'll just thread that on so that way it will match what we did on the other end. One and 2. Okay. Now when I come down, I need another pin. Pop that just in there, and then bring this one across and up. And we start again, and this one will give us an even straighter line. So I'll just take this across and then back again so that I have 2 straight lines, and then we'll go back into completing the square knots at the end. So I've got my 2 straight lines, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unhook all of my threads from the bottom and just bring the 2 central ones together through 1, and then I've got my 2 sideways ones, and I can then again go straight into some square knots. So, and I'll do enough. Now do the first one not too tight so it doesn't pull that in. Then the second one you can pull it a little tighter. You don't want to bunch that all up. Get this under there. So just position it nicely. There you go. Then you can pull it. And as before, I'll back it off and glue the ends. And then I'm just going to leave a space for my button, just like we've done before, and make a knot and glue that, and also then I might put a little crystal on the end of the last remaining 2 cords, and have that as the finished article.